Hello, and welcome to the Drexel interview. I'm your host, Paula Morantz-Cohen, and today our guest is Kal Rudman, music industry pioneer, publisher, and philanthropist. Kal Rudman, welcome to the Drexel interview.
Hello, everybody, especially the students of my newly adopted university, Drexel.
It's great to have you. Kal, you're known within the music industry as the man with the golden ears. This refers to your ability to predict musical hits, and it's the concept behind your very well-known publication, Friday Morning Quarterback. It's a trade publication that, here we are.
We had a couple of versions. This, that's pro, we have 6 different versions relating to the formats of the radio stations of North America.
Okay.
And the musical idioms that fuel these formats.
Okay. Could you tell us a little bit about what got you started in predicting musical hits, and then, of course, starting these publications that predict what's going to be hot in the music industry?
That's going to take the entire half hour.
Well,
do you really want to stick with
that?
Well,
I have a
there
lot
is no short version.
I have to say, Kal, you've done a lot of things in your life. This is one important thing, and obviously I think something that you're known for. So can you keep it succinct so we can move on to, say, the World Wrestling Federation and also your philanthropy, which I want to talk about?
I became a disc jockey in Philadelphia and extremely successful at it, and adopted a musical personality of Kal Big Beat Rudman, the round mound, the sound, the big bass, who says it tastes from outer space. And they would bring me the records, they being the music promotion people.
Yeah.
And they'd bring a stack of records, and I didn't know how that all worked, and I'd listen to a few bars of each particular record. I like this, I don't like that, don't like that. And the ones I liked, I'd put on the air, and I could do anything I wanted on this program, which is not the case today in radio. So if the record was good, I would play it 6, 7 times in a row. So nice, I got to do it twice. I got to do it because I'm used to it. So neat, I got to repeat. And then within a few days, they would sell 5,000 copies of the record. Well, 5,000 copies meant that you had a huge audience, and the people in New York and Hollywood, in the executives in the recording industry, all of a sudden they came flocking down to see me. And that's how it all started. I didn't know, because most of the program directors who selected the music were very engineering oriented, as Drexel type people. And
we have all types here, though, I have to say. We also have the very creative types.
Yeah, I'm contributing to that, of course, now that we have the Kal and Lucille Rudman Foundation and the Institute for Entertainment Studies. So that's how it all started.
So what is this ability you have to be able to predict? I mean, can you say that you have a certain gift for this? Do you think anybody can do it if they listen well?
No, no.
Where did it come from?
Unique. Or as people like to say now, not only unique, but very unique. Very unique is more unique than unique is unique. I'm a bug in the English language.
Okay, so we won't say very unique, we'll just say unique.
Yes.
What is that capacity that you have? And did you have it, did you feel you had it from a very early age?
No. I found out when I started doing it. And I used to hear Tony Bennett sometimes being interviewed, and he said, the only thing I can't pick a hit, I can only pick my nose, or something vulgar like that. He said, and I would get into big fights with the recording executives, Mitch Miller and all at Columbia, and they'd want me to sing these stupid songs. And I said, no, and they said, yes. So I did them, and they became #1 hits, you know. San Francisco and all of that. So
you just had the gift.
It's a unique gift, which of course ended up making me very famous, because I became the resident music expert for the Today Show with Jane Pauley, and Brian Gumbel.
And Merv Griffin you were on as well.
Well, then I did Tom Snyder, The Tonight Show, a couple of years, and a lot of shots on 2020.
Did you predict hits on these shows? Could you tell us some of the things that you predicted?
Well, there was an interesting one on the Today Show, where after I'd done it a few weeks, they said, well, Kal, you tell us you can do this, and we hear you can do this, but would you do this on live television? And they're looking at me.
Yeah.
I said, no problem, nothing to it.
And what did you say?
It happened that a record came in by a lady with a strange name, Juice Newton. And she had a fabulous song. And I predicted it live, and then in a couple of weeks, it was a big hit. And Angel of the Morning. Angel of the Morning. And all the ladies' magazines came to interview this, and then the Today Show, they called up Juice Newton and said, did you hear about what happened? You know, oh my God. She
must have made her
been a
life.
folk singer, and so on, she was from Virginia. And naturally they brought her on, and good old network television, they made a big traumatic to-do about it. Really milked it.
So it was an event.
It was an event,
Oh, that sounds great.
No big deal.
You are someone who's always loved radio.
Yes.
You love being a disc jockey.
When you said about back when I was a kid and so on,
Yeah.
there are a number of people like myself who are what you call radio geeks.
Yeah.
And this is before television, and we had kept our ear into the radio, and some of us felt that we had a good microphone voice and so on. So it was a dream and a fantasy.
Did you develop the patter that you obviously have when you were a kid? Were you practicing that?
Well, when I went on the air, I said, don't touch that radio dial. It's Uncle Kal, your big beat pal, smoking in from the blue denim pad.
Okay, you can still do it.
Deep, deep, deep in a dingy dungeon, and on I go. And I did rap music, rap before.
Before it was popular.
Yeah, everything that's around now was done by people back in the early 50s. There was Jocko on WDAS. I, by the way, was a disc jockey on WDAS in Philadelphia. And I started out running all black music, rhythm and blues music in the United States, went through me. And I will get into the story of how that all developed, because I was raised in the ghetto and so forth. So
you were broadcasting at night originally, weren't you?
Yeah, well, that was on
and that was
1310.
one of the first, wasn't it? One of the first all-night broadcasts?
Yes, yeah. At that time there was a famous station called Wibbage, the first top 40 station. And Wibbage, in the primitive days of radio, they signed off their signal at midnight. And it was dark all night.
Yeah.
And little did they realize that you have music going all through the night, so that people leave the dial set on your station.
Yeah.
So in the morning when you wake up, and that's the most lucrative day part, as we call it, for a radio station. That's where they make all the money.
Yeah.
I give you Howard Stern and people such as that. So that's these are some of the secrets.
Interesting.
So they signed off, and I had the entire area,
Free.
Philadelphia area,
Yeah.
to myself. I took advantage of it.
That's great. That's a great story.
Or as I used to say, I learned a lot studying history. Boss Crump in New York, I seen my opportunity and I took it.
Okay. You've known lots of people in show business, in the music industry,
They know
entertainers.
me. That's right.
Tell us about some of the personalities that impressed you in one way or another, that you had dealings with.
They're all interesting.
Yeah.
They're all people.
Yeah.
Instead of being a school teacher, or instead of being a physician or whatever else, they're musicians.
Yeah.
And very few become famous. Some cream rises to the top.
Yeah.
And the ones that become famous are essentially or quintessentially not that much different from those that don't become famous.
Yeah.
The same with people with a singing voice, and with artists and great painters.
Do you think that cream rises to the top? Do you think that talent gets rewarded? Do you think that the great entertainers, singers get discovered, or do you think it's really a crapshoot in the end?
Well, they did by me.
By you, but of
Yeah.
course you're only one man. Right?
Well,
So how much could you discover, right? A lot, but not everything.
I get the records, and for every hit record, there are 10, 20, 50 that aren't.
Yeah.
But
Would you say it's always talent, though, that you see will make a hit? Or is it, I mean, sometimes it's not about talent, right? You see something and you know it'll be a hit, and it's not necessarily that good?
you're talking about a front page story.
Yeah.
But you're taking the old time, your question is based in the olden days.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I give you Britney Spears. Now, who got booed at the football game last Sunday by the entire crowd? Remember the girl that went on Saturday Night Live and they caught her?
Ashley Simpson?
No, it wasn't
No?
Simpson.
I don't know. I'm sorry, this isn't mine.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what I mean.
Yeah.
And what an achievement for it to be booed by an entire football stadium.
So that's, you know.
So is she talented or manufactured or whatever?
So you feel it's different now, that talent was more recognized and rewarded 20, 30 years ago than now?
Yeah.
Okay.
The era of what we call standards
Yeah.
music, that's forever. You saw probably the Cole Porter motion picture.
Yes, to
and
Lovely.
so on.
Yeah.
Where are Cole Porters in the right? And if there was one, I don't know if there'd be a market for that kind of music. So the world goes on and things change.
Yeah.
And what I like to say about my industry is that the game is always the same, only the names change.
Okay. I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about the World Wrestling Federation. You were very much involved there. You were an announcer. You were known as Killer Kal. And you were instrumental in bringing music, pop music, into the whole wrestling scene.
Rock music.
Rock music, I'm sorry. And
Wouldn't have had a marriage with pop music.
I guess not. Yeah, you're
so
right.
I brought Debbie Harry from Blondie, and then the famous marriage was Cyndi Lauper, and I have this picture.
Cyndi
with,
Lauper, right.
Captain Lou Albano, and that really took.
And you called it rocking and socking, or socking and rock. So how did that get started? First of all, how did you get involved with
I had an
wrestling?
epiphany. In regard to the music and all that.
Well, first the
that was
wrestling.
an idea that hit me.
Yeah.
The wrestling, I got to meet the owner, Vince McMahon, and
It intrigued you?
I intrigued him.
So he asked you to come on board.
He made the offer, yes. So,
And I guess you felt it had an affinity to being a disc jockey, which is what had been your first love.
I did the interviewing and so on, and there are many fascinating stories which we have no time for.
Okay. Your publications, the Friday Morning Quarterback, it still exists and thrives, and I'm told your son is now in charge of a large part of the operation on the West Coast. Does he have your gift for prediction, or is he a different kind of businessman?
I think he's better.
He's better?
Yeah.
So he really runs in the blood.
There isn't anything he doesn't know about any band. And
was he always that way? I mean, you bred him, I guess, to that.
He's done many things.
I was very struck. There was a New Yorker profile of you that I read with great interest. It was written in the 70s, and in it your son appears. I think he was 12.
Yes.
And the reporter was taken with his, I guess he was precocious then.
I've taken a sudden liking to him.
You have? Did he go through his difficult stages?
No. That's a father-son joke.
It must have been interesting for him to grow up with you on the radio.
Yeah, I worked out of the house, and all these big stars came to the house. Barry Manilow and
really?
Elton John and all that. But he didn't like the promotion people coming. They were intruding